Thanks for coming. I think the best way to start is at the beginning. And the beginning happened over more than 3,000 years ago. The search for happiness began even before that. Before there was writing. And the issue of getting high has always been with mankind. However, you don't see a description about getting high in literature as we know it. Before there was writing, there was something called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And the question, this is, the title of this video is How to Cure Meth, Get Higher. And I'll talk to you about that just in a second. You have to do a little bit of setup. 3,000 years ago, Patanjali, who was the editor, not the creator of the sutras. It's called the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali because Patanjali went and put this all together. And Patanjali was talking about self-realization, how to become one with God. Well, this seems odd. Why would talking about becoming one with God have anything to do with curing meth? Well, we'll get to that in just a moment. In the 4th chapter, in the Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, at the very first line of the first chapter, it says, you can get special powers through samadhi or herbs. And it turns out that the herbs they're talking about are herbs that get you high. And as it turns out, the term for getting high is samadhi. So Patanjali is making an equivalence between the state of getting high and the state of samadhi. So how you cure your desire for meth, it's not really the desire for meth, it's the desire for a higher state. Okay? Well, let's compare it. High, you get more peaceful, you get more energy. All the things that you get from meth are good things. Let me just say that the elaboration of the Yoga Sutras is a science called Tantra. And what Tantra says, make yourself higher the next instant. It doesn't say tomorrow or next hour or the next minute, the next instant. So from that definition of Tantra, or that action statement, taking meth seems perfectly logical. And as a tantric, you would have to say, well, yes, this is in line with Tantra. Okay? So the tantric doesn't say, leave the state that meth gives you. It says, go even higher. Well, this is something new, isn't it? You haven't heard that before. Well, let's talk about the state that's higher than meth. Well, let's talk about meth itself, for instance. You take the meth, but one of the things that happens is the thought that the state you're in is limited. What do I mean by that? You take the meth, and there's always a thought, well, maybe the police are going to break in, or somebody's going to try and take this away from you. Or even if nobody does anything, you're going to come down. Why? Well, that's the nature of meth. And so one of the things that you have to do is when you come down, you have to think, where am I going to get my next hit? So your high is conditioned. It's limited. And your subconscious mind, which thinks very fast. In the Vedas it says that our subconscious thinks 3,280,000 thoughts per second. So your subconscious has already figured it out. And so even if it's not on your conscious mind, your subconscious mind has figured this, and this is where all these fears and apprehensions come. State of samadhi, these things are very much reduced. Now it's possible to lose the state of samadhi, but the chances of somebody outside yourself doing that are nil. And your subconscious knows that also. So the state of samadhi is better than the meth high. So let's see. Meth gives you a high, but the high is not as high as the state of samadhi itself. It costs money, okay, it's breaking the law, okay, even if they legalize it. There's all these issues about getting high again. And the real problem is that you haven't done an analysis of the yogic act. So let me talk about the yogic act for a moment. It says it's good for you. Okay, well, let's compare this to the state of taking meth. Taking meth makes you high. The tantric would have to agree with you. Yes, getting high is a good thing. Okay, but then the second part of the yogic act, is it good for other people? Well, is it good for your wife? Is it good for your father, mother, your kids? And the answer is no. Okay? And then there's the third part of the yogic act. Is it going to continue to be good in the future? Yeah. And that fails on that test too, doesn't it? So out of the three, only one is there. Let's talk about the state of samadhi. Is it good for you to get into the state of samadhi? Well, yeah, it's actually even better than the meth. Okay? Second, is it good for you to go into the state of samadhi? Will that help others? Well, if you apply the test to other people, this is just the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So, you're a good member of society, you earn money, you help your family, you provide for them. Well, that's a positive, isn't it? You're no longer a burden on society, you're a contributing member. Is it going to be good in the future? Yeah, absolutely. You get high, you can get even higher, and you can stay high longer. There is a state where you're in the state of samadhi all the time. It's called the turiya state. Well, given all this, if you have a choice, there is no choice. Okay. So this is, and this problem was solved over 3,000 years ago. Okay, well, what is the state of samadhi? Okay, the state of samadhi says there's an observer. Okay, well, you know that you're an observer because you're observing this video. Okay, there's the act of observation. Well, you're listening and you're watching this video. That's the act. So, and the third part is the thing observed. Okay, so let's rearrange this just a little bit. You're the observer, and you had the high from meth before. But now we're saying the thing observed is the high itself. Okay, so the act of observation is the act of going towards the high without the intermediary of a drug. So really what this whole thing boils down to is the state of samadhi is within yourself. So people think they go to a guru, right? And the guru is going to say to you, let's enter into a business transaction. You give me money, you give me time, and I will give you the state of samadhi. Well, that's not quite true, is it? If you have the state of samadhi within yourself, how can I give you that? You already have it. Okay? That's that high you're looking for with the meth. And if I tell you, oh, well, there's another way to get that same high, and I say that it's already within you, well then, there really is no choice but to say, well, how do I get there? I'll make a decision on whether I want to go that way. How long is it going to take? What are all the issues? Okay, well, fair questions. The state of samadhi happens when the observer, the act of observation, the thing observed, become the same thing. Okay, so when you have the high from meth, that is the state of samadhi. Okay, well, but it's limited, okay? And it's limited by your thought that you have to have the meth. Okay, so what we need to do is to give you a method that you can see that you can get high without the meth. Okay, and this video is an attempt to go towards that goal. Okay, well, so let's talk about how to get into samadhi. And the observation that you have to do is to separate yourself from your mind and your body. Okay, so I'm going to show you a technique that goes towards something different besides your body and your mind. And we're going to do it through a breathing exercise. Okay? And the breathing exercise is very simple. We're going to give some names to something that you never thought of before. And we're going to do an action with those objects, and you're going to do a breathing exercises with them, and the end result is going to be that you say, oh, I'm different from my mind and my body. Okay, Why is that important in going towards the state of samadhi? If you are the high, you can't be the body. So if you can separate your conscious mind from saying that I'm more than the body, in other words, there's something else of me that I wasn't aware of before now, then I can say, and it makes me happier. Okay? So the criteria is to see if thinking that you are something else makes you happier. And I say it does. Okay, so here we go. We say that there's a center of energy inside our body. There's two other centers of energy, and they are outside the body. And there's a way to transform the energy inside your body to the centers outside the body. Okay, so what are those centers? The name for the centers is Devasanta. Devasanta. Okay? And there's one right here in your chest. So let me show you how you find it on yourself. Okay? And the description is giving that here's the third eye center. Everything is this center of attention is from the third eye. And the name for the third eye is Ajna. The Ajna chakra is the chakra that commands things in your reality. Ajna means command. And so then the question you should ask is, what can you command? And the answer is everything. Okay, so here's one example of the Ajna being in control of a process. Okay, so that the Devasanta, here in the chest, you find it by putting your chin right here, right down on your chest. You take and put your fingers, top finger, right at the Ajna chakra. And then you count 4 down and then 4 again, 12 fingers length. Right here is the Devasanta in the Sacred Heart chakra. Okay. Now, so this is the first Devasanta. Here's the Ajna chakra. Here's the next chakra, 12 finger, and you can see it's above my head. Okay, so there's a center here, and you have that center too. Okay, and the third chakra, Devasanta, is here, at the same level as the other one inside, but outside. Okay. The one Sacred Heart chakra, the Devasanta there, the prana starts. Prana is associated with the breath, but prana means primordial energy. So let me just show you what happens with this breathing technique. You start with your breath exhaled. You go to Sacred Heart chakra and you start breathing in. As you breathe in, the energy goes up to the Ajna chakra. You breathe in some more and the energy goes up to the Devasanta above the head. You exhale and the energy comes back to the Ajna chakra and then goes outside the body again, down to the Devasanta outside the body. Okay, and it's associated with the breath, but it's not the breath. And how do you know that? Because the energy goes outside the top of the head. Okay? So this technique, and so that's just one round. You can do 10, 12 at a time if you want. Okay, so you breathe in, go to the Ajna chakra, go to the Devasanta above the head, come down to the Ajna chakra, and this time it goes outside the body. Okay. Two things happen. First, you're aware of energy. Energy going up and out of the body. And then going back outside. So if you and the energy are inseparable, then there must be some part of yourself outside the body. Okay. Now, let's ask a couple of questions. Have I done anything other than talk about this and do a demonstration? No. Did I do anything esoteric that's outside your experience? Did I give you a mantra, some mumbo jumbo? No. All this, and you will feel the energy, happened because you made the recognition. And one of the things is you're going to feel happy now, and tomorrow you're going to be even happier. Why is that? Because who you really are and your subconscious have come to an agreement. And that agreement is, oh, I'm more than the body and the mind. That agreement goes towards the high. It's the start of it. So then it's just a matter of building it from that moment on. Okay. Well, how do I know this is going to be like I say it is? Well, you can test it for yourself. Other people have, and what they say to me is, I didn't realize how much energy there was. Okay. So, do an experiment. Find out more about yourself. Be happier. Get higher. Thank you.